What's going on, guys? Ryan Valet here, coming to you on a Saturday of all days. Been kind of working, doing a little bit of dialing and some admin work, and I kind of came to a little bit of a revelation or realization that I wanted to share with you guys that I am absolutely confident will make a huge difference in your sales ability. If you guys are new here, I am your final expense expert, or better known as your Fexpert. And just basically been doing this for a long time and want to do whatever I can to help as many people coming into this industry. If you would, before we get into it, hit the like, share, thumbs up, subscribe button, the whole nine. Let everybody know that you're into the video so that way, hopefully, the algorithm will put me out there more often. So, with all that said, one of the biggest realizations that I came to today when it comes to conversations and length of conversations, I've been doing more and more call reviews, which, by the way, keep an eye out on Mondays. I do a call review of an agent, my own, my partners. I'll do anybody's call review. And I promise I will try not to be too rough on you, but I'm also not going to be a softie. It's important to hear the truth. So, keep an eye out on Mondays whenever I drop those videos. But as I'm listening to these call reviews and listening to the people that I'm talking to, especially today, if you've been in the business for a little while, you'll know that some, in my personal opinion at least, the Saturdays can be really good, okay, or just absolute trash. And what I mean by trash is just a lot of unserious people or those who don't answer. Now, the unserious people are where I feel like I'm seeing more and more, or at least I'm hearing more and more people have
Agents.
a long conversation with those who have almost absolutely no intent to buy. Was just listening to an agent's call, and it was way longer than what it should have been. Unfortunately, when you're new to sales, you don't know when too long is too long. But that's what you've got to get especially good with. So when it comes to talking to the right people, it is absolutely key. If you're talking to somebody and they are rattling on about their dogs and their cats and about how their grandkids love this and love that, conversations are great. However, when they are going on and on and on about things that are not pertinent to actually moving forward with the task at hand, which in this case is making a sale or just simply determining whether or not this person needs this. Too often, things are either shoved down a person's throat and then they regret the buy later on, or to only find out that they either don't need it, they're not interested, or they were never going to buy in the first place. So, in our script, we talk a lot about prospect versus suspect. You have to determine if someone is a suspect. Now, suspect doesn't have to be necessarily a negative connotation. Suspect just means, are they suspect where they're just wanting to talk to someone? There are many people out there like that. Are they suspect where they really don't have a need for the product? Are they suspect in the fact that there is absolutely no chance whatsoever that they're actually going to buy today? So, for example, if they are a suspect in the idea that they just want to talk to somebody, those people will talk to you all day long. As I mentioned before, it's great to have a good conversation. However, if you're letting them control the conversation, then they will take it wherever they want. And by the end, guess what? And guess what? I've done a video on this, the friend zone. If you wind up in the friend zone, it's all over 99% of the time. It's great to be friendly, but you can't be a person's best friend. If you guys listen to Grant Cardone at all, he actually says that it's easier to make a client a friend than to make a friend a client. If you are so focused on everything that they're saying and then going along with it, they're talking about their dog and how it's hard to keep the dog hair down in the house. And then you're telling them a story about how there was so much dog hair on the couch, you knitted a new sweater. You cannot go along with those types of stories. You can engage and say, oh my gosh, that's so crazy. I know where you're coming from. I've got a dog myself, and it is tough. So, whenever it comes down to you looking into final expenses, how long have you been looking? You see, so you really have to work to bring people back to that straight line. So you probably heard me talk about Jordan Belfort. He talks a lot about keeping clients on a straight line. So sales is just a straight line. You've got to keep those people on that straight line. When they start talking about their dog, you got to pull them back to that straight line. And that straight line is talking about final expense, talking about life insurance. Another suspect to determine is someone who doesn't have a need for the product. So they had a job in the teachers union where they get to take their $10,000 policy with them there for minimal cost. You need to determine, okay, so are you looking to add to that? Or are you looking to leave a little extra money behind? If they say, well, none really, I'm actually going to be cremated and I just saw a super cheap price on the internet, so I thought I'd look into it. Okay, so then you need to determine how serious they actually are about getting something. And it may take just a little bit, but it does not take an hour. I go through and I truly ask them inquisitive questions about what they want, not what I can sell them. That is the old style of being a snake oil salesman, just talking somebody into buying something because you want to make a sale. Unfortunately, selling final expense, that is a really rough way to go because you're just asking for more and more chargebacks. It's okay if you uncover a need, but to create a need out of thin air is more oftentimes than not going to come back to bite you in the ass. So the other part of it, you want to know how serious they actually are. If they're like, well, I've got to pray about it, think about it, talk to my kids about it, you have to continue to work that conversation enough that you can either break that barrier or you have to schedule a new call. Don't buy into their friendliness or their constant droning on about their entire life story as them really being interested in buying. Spending an entire hour or hour and a half on the phone with somebody is not worth it. Cut it down. You really should not be talking to someone who is not going to buy any longer than 30 minutes. And most people would say you could pretty much find it out in about 15 minutes. Sometimes conversations get away from you, but you have to always know that in the back of your mind as you're having these conversations, that okay, I need to figure out a way to get back on track. Having too long of conversations only takes away from making that next sale. If you're spending an hour on the phone with somebody, ending up with no sale because you didn't catch that they were not serious, that is an additional three other 15-minute conversations that you could have had. And out of those 15-minute conversations, you could have had a sale out of one of those. The whole goal in this is really to have more and more conversations. I would love to tell you that, look, you can sell whoever you want and you just got to work hard to get that sale and constantly follow up with people. But unfortunately, in final expense, if you're not truly trying to find the right people, you're going to wind up with a lot more wrong people. And a lot more wrong people means a lot more chargebacks. And a lot more chargebacks just means loans you've got to pay back. So always keep that in mind to try and keep your conversations to a minimum so that way you don't wind up in the friend zone. You don't wind up in an hour-long conversation with someone who is never going to buy. With that said, guys, I'm going to call it quits on a Saturday. You guys have fun. Keep up the good work. And again, if you would, hit the like, subscribe, notification bell, the whole nine, so that way you get notified. Really hope this content helps. If you guys are watching this, drop something down below in the comments. Let me know what you want to see next. I try to keep everything relevant. And I'm going to just continue doing trainings because I truly want people to learn how to do this business. This business can be a phenomenal way to get out of the rat race. So appreciate everything, guys, and talk to you soon.